Celebrating and recognizing on Memorial Day the life of my father, Bishop James Willie Glenn Harris, as James William Harris was on Normandy on D-Day, a corporal with the 1st Army's 249th Transportation Battalion. Along with the bravado, terror, gore, and glory, Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan documents another fact of World War II: bigotry. Troops were segregated until 1948, with all black troops led by white officers and used in supply units, never in combats. Since films usually focus on white war experience, the documented evidence of black Americans' contribution to the war may die out with the veterans, fears James William Harris of Springfield. Harris was on Normandy on D-Day, a corporal with the 1st Army's 249th Transportation Battalion. The unit, 250 black members and 2 white soldiers, trucked the bodies of dead soldiers to bulldozed graves and gathered dog tags to mail back to Washington. Harris has not and may not watch Private Ryan because of the traumatic memories. You had to build a graveyard everywhere we went, and I am not talking about 35 or so bodies. 2,000, 3,000 bodies laying around all day long. We picked them up and trucked them, and at night, another crew took over, he said. At the time, Harris was James Harris, 86 years old, spoke from the small living room of his apartment, surrounded by his wife, Annie, and his daughter, Esther, and the rest of the family. Daughter Brown says her father still refuses to attend a parade or listen to the World War II music. But he has become more insistent in his elder years about documenting his service during the war. A lot of people of color don't write down their memories. It's more an oral history. It's cultural thing, part of your life, talking with your family, she said. That's where urban native Randy Wilkins comes in. Though he has never met Harris, Wilkins has his passion for historical films that may be the answer to James Harris's concern. The black troops had really difficult jobs, and it goes completely unrecognized, said Wilkins, whose research for Private Ryan helped make it a gripping, realistic film. The Battle of the Bulge in Sicily was the first time Army units were integrated, forced by heavy casualties. Even then, black sergeants and non-commissioned officers were ordered to give up their rank and become privates. To a white private wouldn't end up answering to black officer, Wilkins said. An 8-part time life video series includes a segment on the black supply troops who kept the combat troops in action. Other than that, it's hard to find a film on blacks in the war, he said. Wilkins of Venice Beach, California, is a 1976 graduate of Urban High School and the son of Tom and Peggy Wilkinson of Urbana. Last year, Wilkinson and his friend Dan Jennings shared the historical research group to get movies to be more historical accurate. Items that they had not been able to find and things they needed to know, sort of test. And I faxed back the answers immediately. They called me in, Wilkins said. Wilkins and his partner worked on the film for about 2 months, responding to the phone or fax requests with books, copies, and other information to document how the war looked. In the scene where American gliders were crashed in the field, I bet one could find those blueprints for you, Wilkins said. I located a museum in Texas operated by retired glider pilot veterans, and they had them on microfilm. Our reader went through 4,500 drawings, and because I set designer, I knew what would be useful to them and picked out the 300 best ones, put them in the packet with explanations, and sent them to them. They were really grateful and actually changed the shooting schedule to recreate the drawing. The week to continue, but this is in memory in the words of Father Bishop James Harris, then in the paper James William Harris Sr., who was on Normandy in D-Day, recognizing him and all of those that have passed on, that fought in all the wars on this day, this is Memorial Day 2024. And the information is coming from Dayton News on Monday, August the 17th, 1998. From the Valley News History Movie Shows Military Bias, which was a topic about Saving Private Ryan movie. Love you, Papa, and love you all. This is London. God bless. And I would like to say, I remember as a little girl how my father spoke to me and told me how he had to sleep in the trenches and to hide for more than on days upon days, laying in mud and water, and how he had to even defend himself to keep the opposer from killing him with machetes and other weapons. And I remember vividly as a documentary and the music played on television and began to play, and my father broke down and he cried like a baby. So I know that to go through a war and to actually live and fight in the war, fight the enemy, and God brought him out and brought him home. So we thank God for that. But I would like to say to all of those that fought in any shape, form, or fashion, or that are serving in the military, God bless you. And we thank God for those, and we remember those that have gone on before. This is London.